Hi guys, this is Daryl at Inda-Gro, and today is our week 5 update on the greenhouse. And as usual, we got our gardener here, Giovanni. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gio, what's happening on week 5? It looks like everything's gotten pretty big in here. Can you give us a little walkthrough?
Yeah. So last time we were updating, we had basils about this tall now. We've cut them back several times since. We're trimming them back about every 10 days or so.
Okay.
And they keep on growing back.
As you can see from our last video, yes, they've been chopped and they've come back up.
They're pretty happy right now.
What's different about the fish tanks?
Well, now I got tilapia in one tank here. I got tilapia in this tank, and then I have koi in this other tank. They're kind of hard to see because they're all in the back corner there. But they seem happier when they're separated, which we've done. Also, the last time we did an update, we had these strawberries that were just rooted.
Right.
That we took off the runners. Now they're fully established and starting to produce strawberries. Also, in the back there, they've been growing for about 5 weeks. The beef, they're called beef masters. They're about 4 feet taller now than the last time. You see them?
Okay, are they? And they're fruiting.
Oh yeah, they're fruiting. The habaneros are doing great. They're starting to take off now. System seems like it's starting to get prime. So we're having a good vegetation. Also, look at the roots. We've got good roots also. Root structure.
I see you moved the tomatoes. You swapped spots with what had been.
Yeah, we had to swap spots with the tomatoes because the tomatoes, these two here were becoming one big tomato.
Okay. So
I transferred the tomatoes to this side, put the habaneros on that side, and the good thing is about our hops. Yeah, the fruit sets on those beef masters.
Looks like there's about 20 tomatoes already.
Yeah, and there's some more in the far back there you can't access, but these are just starting to take off now. They're starting to bloom now.
So we're liking the cocoa.
The cocoa's doing great. Fantastic. What I love about the cocoa is that the top inch of the medium is dry, completely dry. It stays dry. But underneath that, it's moist.
Oh yeah.
So you're never going to have any PM issues or stem rot or anything like that, which I'm very happy with. The medium's been taken off. Everything we have in here is in that cocoa.
We've had some ant problems, but you've addressed that.
Yeah, we've had some ant problems, some aphid problems. We took care of that.
The temperatures have been horrific.
Temperature right now, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 98.2 degrees. So in the peak of the day, we're getting to about 108 to 112. And even so, things are doing okay. They're not doing too bad. The other thing I wanted to show you are the hops. And this is something that we really want to take a look at, is because somebody had told me that hops couldn't be done in DWC, but we're doing them, and they're healthy. They're growing. They're starting to bud. They're starting to get budding spots here, and we're going to have the hops, the hop flowers.
Now, 5 weeks ago, these were just barely.
Yeah, they were just barely taken off. And the other thing too, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but we transferred them from one system to another system, so there was a little stress and root trimmage there. But they're back and healthy. I mean, they're doing really good. Look at all these hops here, all these little flowers here. They're all going to end up being little buds. Sure. Little flower pods there. So yeah, they're doing good. They're doing really good. September is the time when we usually harvest on hops. But since we've had 100+ degree temperatures, I don't know what's really going to happen. I mean, it's really kind of unpredictable right now. They're starting to do okay. They usually like cooler temperatures, but they're doing okay in 100+ degrees.
But we definitely could get year-round crop production out of the hops, based on what we're seeing.
So. And then what we have here is we have plumerias. We hooked up with the people from the San Diego Plumeria Society, and they were kind enough to give us some seedlings and also some cuttings. So we're putting these in aquaponics and see how they do. Everything seems to be growing. This is actually grown over the weekend, so I'm excited to see what happens.
And what do we have down here in the 5-gallon buckets?
Down here what we have is duckweed. We have some duckweed here that we feed our fish. It's a high source of protein. We like to give them a different diet, other than just the pellets.
And we have another one over here, it looks like.
Yes, we do. We have another one on this side. So we have one for each tank. And they seem to like it quite a bit.
The supplemental lighting right now, we're only probably running a couple, 3 hours a day.
A couple of 3 hours a day. But I mean, you can definitely see the difference in the growth.
Yeah, our ADR controller is only adding the 3 hours, so we can pick up about an extra 4 to 5 moles per day.
Right. And the other thing too is once we maybe finish up with this garden, maybe do another hops gardening in the wintertime and manipulate the light
Now, what do we
say
know about the
light hours.
plumerias in aquaponics? Has anybody done this before?
Not that I'm aware
They're
of.
really beautiful.
but
So this would just be for starters.
This is just a rooter. Actually, these are seedlings and these are just cuttings. We're gonna see if they take off in aquaponics.
I don't know if you guys can see this on the video, but these are absolutely,
Yeah.
they're delicate, they're beautiful.
Oh,
These
yeah,
are the
flowers.
flowers they make leis out of.
Yep, that's correct. They make leis out of them. And let me show you these other plumerias we've had out here. I think we did an update on them on the first time.
Gio, I don't know that if you mentioned this in our last video, but you're not adding water other than for evaporation and recirculation.
And what the plants consume, right?
And what the plants consume.
Right. So we're either replacing or replenishing every about 10% a week, which is about 40 gallons, I think, in our system.
Now the hot temperatures have not done really good for our outdoor gardens,
Yeah,
but you know what? They're still producing.
Yeah, they're not doing too bad, but they're scorched. Everything is, I mean, these cucumbers have got to come out. Everything is pretty much at its end.
The tomatoes are absolutely delicious.
The tomatoes are delicious because they're being fed aquaponics. They're being fed to aquaponic water. And they really do well. I haven't really added any bud enhancers or anything like that. So it's basically just it's all organic. It's just all fish waste.
And then I see you've added another plumeria.
We got another plumeria, which was donated again to us by the Plumeria Society. And this is an actual cutting. And it's flowering. We got a new growth here.
Totally in cocoa.
Totally in cocoa.
You've only had this about 4 or 5 days.
5 days we've had. 4 days, excuse me. 4 days. And yes, it's in 100% cocoa. The last time we did an update on this, it's grown quite a bit. I mean, people are impressed how well it's doing in cocoa. I didn't know how well it was going to do in cocoa. Same thing with that one. They're about, what are they, 7 or 8 weeks old?
Now, from when we got them, but
when we got them, yeah.
But what you're telling me is you're not requiring as much daily watering.
No, not at all. And actually, all the nutrients that are being provided is again from the aquaponic system.
So this just got an early morning water, but you're saying that the top 1 or 2 inches stays dry, and then.
Yes, that's correct. Even after the watering, as you can see, it's dry material there.
Yeah.
And then I'll go about an inch down, and it's wet material.
Nice.
So again, it's you got the barrier on the top that's dry, and underneath it stays nice and moist.
And I noticed it's a lot more fibrous than what we're used to seeing.
Oh yes, it's much more fibrous than the stuff we're normally used to seeing. And the roots love it. They adhere to the fiber, and the roots just really take off. It's a really nice environment for them. Again, it also since it always stays moist. It doesn't stay wet. It'll stay moist unless it completely dries out. But other than that, it's a nice environment for colonization of bacteria, beneficial bacteria, and people who use mycorrhiza and stuff like that. It works really well. We're very impressed with it.
And I can see the plants are pretty happy with it too.
Yes, the plants are pretty happy with it. And I noticed that what I like about it is when you water it, this cocoa expands instead of compacting.
So it's running right up against the edge of the pot.
Yeah, it's allowing a lot of air into the root zone because every time you water it, it expands.
And I've seen pith type fiber or cocoa that would kind of shrink in.
It'll start compacting after a while, and it's kind of like soil. Every time you water, it compacts.
So this is good for our aquaponic systems where we're using it primarily, but obviously
wicking system, yes.
Your outdoor gardens as a mixture, straight blend. How about hydroponics?
It can be used in hydroponics, aquaponics. It can be used outdoors, indoors. It can be incorporated into soil. I mean, it could be used for pretty much any use that we can think of as of right now.
And then we'll just finish up with our little urban garden here.
Yeah, our little urban garden.
Which started out as kind of wishful thinking, doing a lot of
and they're actually
fruit production here.
People are walking by, pulling off tomatoes. I mean, we are always having a constant abundance of tomatoes here.
Absolutely.
And these are just, anybody who walks by can
for the
grab
community,
them, pull them off. And we encourage it. We've got a little sign out there that says, please take some.
Well, this is all fun.
And again, they're being fed all aquaponically.
Well, thank you, Gio, for showing us the gardens again. That's our week 5 update. And anytime you want to ask any questions, go to the website. You can call us, or please feel free to drop on in and have a look at our gardens. Thank you, guys.